Hello and welcome to Unit 2, Lesson Number 1, Kinematics and Projectiles. In this lesson we're going to be discussing, now that we are not only going to be moving in a 1D line, rather we'll be using 2D planes to describe an object's location. We need to establish a system to describe where this object will be moving on a 2D axis. Now, there's two methods that are standard. We're going to talk about the news system, which is just northeast, southwest. That's going to be the system that we're going to be using primarily in this course. But there's also a system that historically in physics has been used, RCS, Rectangular Coordinate System, and we're going to teach it. You may see it in the future a little bit, but it won't be as much as the northeast, southwest method. All right. So, first example number 1. The question just asks us to express the vector's angle in news and RCS. Well, we see on our grid here, we have, I'll add a little arrow to the end, we have this arrow that's shooting down and to the left. All right, so with the northeast-southwest method, I'm going to label this just like I would a compass. North, east, south, west. There we go. And as we see, our line is coming down and to the left. The way we typically describe an angle with NEWS method is the angle at which we have the measurement given to us. We say it's that many degrees from the closest or the measured angle. Not necessarily closest, but the measured angle. So in this case, my example is we're going to be measuring from the south because our angle is from the south. So this is going to be, let me put news here. News will be 20 degrees, as you see, 20 degrees west because we're moving out this way. So it's 20 degrees west of south. See, west of south, we're measuring from here going to the west, and our angle is in here. If our angle were here, we would now be measuring south of west, but it's not. All right. Now, that's half the question. The second half is RCS. Maybe I'll change my color up for RCS. Okay. RCS is a little bit strange. We always measure from this right or eastbound direction. We call this 0 degrees in RCS. Put a little red star here so we know what it's talking about. And then as we move counterclockwise around this thing, we just count up the angles with the maximum circle being 360 degrees. So here we have our first 90 degrees. Here we have our second 90 degrees, which gives us a total of 180. 108? No, 180. And finally, we determine this last little bit, and I did trace that on there a second ago, but this last little bit, 90 minus 20. Right, so this last little bit is going to be 70 degrees. And if we add that up, we have 90, 90, so 180, and another 70. So we do the math on that. I believe that comes out to 250. So the RCS method, we can simply put 250 degrees. And we just know now that we start measuring from the east and go counterclockwise. So we can just put one value as our answer, and that's all we need. Now, on the contrary, you might get into a little bit of a sticky situation because we can also put RCS going clockwise, but we're going to consider it a negative angle. And it's not the prettiest, but it happens and it shows up once in a while, so you have to know it. But same thing, we measure from the east, but if we go this way, we're going to have a negative 90, and this last little bit here is going to be a negative 20 degrees. And so these together are going to be negative 110 degrees. So this 250 degrees can also be expressed as negative 110 degrees. Anyways, those are the answers to this problem.